Welcome back to the Purdue Softball Show with Maggie Frezzotti. I'm Cory Palm, the host, trying to keep up with the very vibrant, very energetic coach. I'm failing miserably. It's okay. Coach, Maggie, it's great to see you.
Likewise.
It's been a couple weeks, and frankly, you guys have been too busy winning games to tape a show. No, just kidding. There's been travel and reschedules, and we're sorry that we missed so much time, but we're glad to be back. Not kidding about winning games, though. 9 of 11. You guys have won 9 of your last 11 games. You took 2 out of 3 from Rutgers. You swept Iowa. You went on the road and took 2 out of 3 from Illinois. You just split with Indiana last night in the series that felt like it was never going to happen because of the reschedules. What's going right now with the team?
Biggest thing, we have found a way to stay patient throughout the game. We have found a way to understand that even though every pitch is important, sometimes one play doesn't define the outcome of the rest of the game. And we have been trusting each other, which has been huge, right? Like just some of those games that we won in the last, like you said, 11 came either in the 7th or in the 6th, so we had to come from behind, and it was a one-run game. So just a little patience, I would say, and understanding that there are multiple ways to win and kind of like digging in that way.
It's kind of like it's themes that we've seen all year, starting way back in February is belief in what you're doing, trusting in your teammates, and knowing that there's multiple ways to win. Sometimes you score a lot. Sometimes you score a little. Sometimes it's about scoring more. Sometimes it's about keeping the other team from scoring more. Yeah. And we've kind of seen it all. Timely hitting seems to be sort of a connective tissue here. Yeah. You guys are getting really important hits at the right times.
Yeah. And on the flip side, credit to the pitching staff because they have been keeping us in games long enough for the offense to figure it out. And that is huge, going about the patient thing, right? Like sometimes the offense runs out of time, and they have been phenomenal doing that. And I think that when we have the ability to play the 7 innings and give ourselves a chance, then those timely hits have a better chance to show up, right? Because you're not pressing every single inning for it.
Right. Another thing we've seen is the flexibility of this team kind of mentally where you go into a week thinking, okay, we're going to play Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We're going to play Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then, Tuesday becomes an earlier start time, and maybe Friday becomes Friday stays static, but Saturday becomes a doubleheader, or Sunday. There's been a lot of change. Maybe you're scheduled to go to Bloomington, and then that gets canceled and pushed back and pushed back again. And for the team to be able to just adjust to that on the fly, I think, where does that start? Does that start with you guys in messaging, or is it just sort of their overall attitude?
I think it starts a little bit with us, just in the sense that we know what we can control and we know what we can't, and just kind of like, okay, this is what we can do right now. This is what we can get better at practice. We can do all these things, and there's a lot of communication. We're pretty straightforward with our players, and it's like, this is what's going on. Here are the options. As of now, roll with this option. We'll let you know if something changes. Okay. Any questions? Do I go to class? Yeah, you always go to class. No, they don't answer. I'm just teasing.
That's a good joke, though. I like that. That's fun. Individually, talking about individuals offensively at least, it's kind of been a lot of the same names that we've talked about all year. Chloe Banks is playing really well. Sage is playing well. Ashlyn Campbell's come on pretty strong in conference play. Polar's continuing to have a great freshman year. Just to be able to see that consistency, it has to be kind of awesome for you to see them get rewarded for their hard work.
Yeah, I mean, they have been phenomenal for us, and we're just trying to find a way to put them in a position where they can come up with runners on and that we can produce the most amount of runs. But also the bottom of our lineup has done so well, coming in clutch in really tough situations. Yeah. Sometimes, I don't remember, I think it was Iowa's maybe second game. I could be wrong, but Kendall Bailey was in the A hole and Kira was in the 9. Kendall gets hit by a pitch. Kira walks, and after that we score the 2, and we end up winning that game by 1. I don't know exactly what game it was. My point being is that, yes, those 4 have been solid for us all season, but the bottom of the lineup has done a really good job just giving us chances. I mean, Ryan has come clutch in the last couple games.
Yep, she's really stepped in.
Ramos pinch hitting at the right time. Kendall Bailey last night. right? Coming in, one pitch stack, like the things that we needed, they're giving the team what the game is asking of us. And sometimes that's not reflected in the stats.
Yeah.
But for us, it's equally as important.
Yeah, you look like I'm glad you brought up Ryan, because Ryan Ross she's hitting below 200 for the year. That does not tell the story. She's responsible for several wins in the last month, like just very important clutch hitting, important spots. Maybe you only get 1 or 2 at-bats in a game, but if you can take advantage of that, it can be just massive for your team.
And I'll say that about both catchers. You look at Haley's stats, and it's the same thing, and she has, like, second most RBIs on the team or something. Like, it's just they have done things, like, they may not seem flashy, but, again, like, whatever the team needs, they do it.
Yep.
And the job is never too big or too small for them.
That's awesome. Now, in the circle, kind of the same thing. What's really opened my eyes is Kendall has stepped up big in a lot of relief spots, and leads the team in winning percentage, 6-3 on the year, only 7 starts on the season. A lot of relief effort, and that's so important to change pace. If Julia or Maddie go out and get a couple good innings, to bring somebody else who's different.
Yep. And sometimes that's the plan beforehand without knowing what the team is going to do. It's just we know what's the sweet spot for Kendall, and we try to, and we have said this before, Cory, it's just put people in position where they can be successful, and we do the best we can. Sometimes we get it wrong, but we know in which window Kendall can be really successful. So sometimes it's that, and sometimes it's like, Kendall, we need you, so hurry up, get ready. But on the other side too, like Maddie coming in and giving us 2 innings, Emma Bailey the other day coming in and giving us 2 innings, like that long term helps the team, because then the pitching staff can share some innings, and once postseason come, then our pitchers are not gassed. So it's kind of a big deal.
Pitchers are not gassed, or when you get an unexpected doubleheader, when we're not gonna be able to run you into the ground.
Yeah.
You're not gonna get your 20 hours of rest, and then your next start. Right. We're gonna need to spread the innings around a little bit.
You get 2, you get 3. Let's go.
Right. Yeah. So 21-20 at this point, with about 3 weeks left in the season, and more importantly, 8-6 in the Big Ten, tied for 5th right now. One of the teams you're tied with is Rutgers, who you, as I said, beat 2 out of 3 a couple weeks ago. In really good position for the Big Ten tournament, and now it's more along the lines of playing for your best possible finish for seeding purposes in the Big Ten tournament, and looking beyond that.
Yeah, I get weird about standings and stats and all that. Like, I think they're helpful because you need to know, right, like what you're kind of like playing for. But on one side, and Cory, last time we met, I was talking about how winning gives you validation, right? Yeah. And that is so important sometimes for the players, because they put in the work and they do all these things, and sometimes they don't get rewarded, and it's easy to go the other direction instead of continuing to show up. So that what makes me the happiest, because I feel like now they see what we see. It's possible. And not that they didn't before, right? But now they have evidence. But on my side of things, my job is to win the next game. If I'm last, if I'm first, Northwestern want to come on Friday and be like, I don't want to win the next one.
Right.
So we just need to stay patient, one game at a time, and see when we put our best product out there, how many of those we can get. But it's just the next one is the most important one. So all our focus and our preparation is thinking of Friday night, and after that we'll go Saturday and so on. It's
so hard as a coach when you're always 0-0.
Yeah,
that next game's the one that matters.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that approach. It would drive me batty. That's why I'm not a coach. Let's talk about Northwestern. They are atop the conference. They are ranked 21st in the country this week, 27-8. Wildcats have been, the class of the Big Ten for a while now. What's the scouting report on them?
Scouting report is that they play good softball. They have a winning culture. They are always good in the circle, but we also have things that they don't have. And we feel, again, we put our best product out there, we can beat them. It's just a matter of, like, sometimes things happen and you don't see them coming, but if we show competitive, if we showed up the way we showed up last night, we have a chance. Yep. And we were talking about that. We feel like we dropped the Illinois last game, and it's tough, right? Like you play the same team 3 times, and they don't want to get swept, and we want to beat them again, and we're comfortable because the whole dynamic, right, of the 3-game series, but we feel like we didn't put the best product out. And we had a conversation on Tuesday, and we're saying, like, what a better opportunity for us to bounce back than facing our rival and facing the top team in the conference for the last 5-6. That's awesome. Let's do it. I mean, this is the time to do it, right? This is the week.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's get out there and do it. It's 5 o'clock on Friday out at the Bit, and then you guys play 2 o'clock Saturday, 1 o'clock on Sunday. If you can't make it out there, which you should, it's supposed to be really nice weather this weekend, no rain, sunshine, it's beautiful. Come out, support your Boilermakers. If you can't, all 3 games will be on Big Ten Plus. So that's really cool to look forward to. Can't wait to see that series and one more shot to get that next game.